Do you want to learn how to make animated items like my animated sword right here? Or as I'll show you in this video, this animated totem? There you go. Pretty easy to do actually. It just takes a few steps and I'll show you how to do this in this video. Hi, I'm George and I teach how to customize Minecraft. I made this video a few years ago and I got a request to update this for the current version of Minecraft. So I'll go ahead and we'll do that right now. Let's just switch over to my desktop and I'll show you how this is done. Okay, here we are on my desktop, and the first thing you'll need is to have a place to build your pack in. I just made a new folder here, put it on my C drive, and I named it pack. You can call it anything you want, just have a new folder for that. If you want, you can make your own custom pack PNG file. That's what I have right here. It's just a square image, 128 by 128 pixels, and it's a PNG image. That's all it is, just pack.png. Next, we need to get the vanilla resource pack for this version of Minecraft. And for that, I'll open up the Minecraft launcher, which is right here. Go up to Installations, find Latest Release, and then click into that folder right there. And here we go. And then scroll down, take it down to where it says Versions. Just right here, go into Versions. And you want the latest version in here without any of this additional garbage on the end of it. Right now, it's 121.8 right there. Open this up and you should see two files in here, a jar file and a JSON file. They're both named 121.8. We want the jar file. Now, if you're not seeing that .jar on there, if you're just seeing two files but no .jar, you have to see that extension for this to work. So for that, go up here to View and come down to Show and make sure you have File Name Extensions checked. This is Windows 11. If you're in Windows 10, go up to the View tab, and then over on the right-hand side, put a check next to File Name Extensions. Same thing. Okay, I'm going to take this and add this into our working folder. Let's bring that up. Here's our working folder. I'm just going to right-drag it over here, choose Copy, and there we go. Okay, we can close this down. Now I need to open this up and get the files that we need. And we can't do that with a jar file, but because we can see that extension, you can click into the name like that, and then backspace over jar and make it say zip, and then say yes. It's now a regular zip file. Right-click on this and open a new window. And here we go. This is the easiest way to do this. If you want to have the default pack PNG and not make your own, you'll find that right here on this folder. Just scroll way down. You'll find that right there. That's the default grass block file. Okay, let's scroll back up to the top again. Go into the Assets folder. Go into the Minecraft folder. Come down here to Textures. Go into Textures. In here, go into Item. And we'll be doing the Totem of Undying in here, so let's just find that. I'll scroll right over here. It's clear to the end of this list, just about. There it is, Totem of Undying. We want to have that, so just drag it over here. There's the totem, real small file size, as you can see. We're also going to need to have these folders in here, so let's just make those while we're at it right now. The Assets, Minecraft, Textures, and Item. We need to have those folders in here. Go where it says New, click on Folder. First folder is Assets. Open this up, and then New Folder. This one is Minecraft. And change our view to large icons. There we go. Go inside of Minecraft, New Folder. This one's Textures. Let's change the view to large icons. Open this up, New Folder, and this one is Item. And again, I'll change that view here to large icons. Okay, back over here again. Now we also need to get an animation file. And you won't find any of those in here, but I'll show you where we can get the animation file from. Let's just go back here to Textures and go up into Block right here. And if we scroll down here, see where it says campfire.png.mcmeta, we need this file. And we'll place this inside of this item folder right here. Open that up. We'll put this inside of there. There we go. And change our view. Okay, we have that. Let's now get this out of the way. We're done with that. We're done with the zip, but you can save it if you want to for use later on. All right, let's take a look at that mcmeta file first. Let's open this thing up right here. I'll open this up in Notepad++. It's a free download, and it's a great code editor for working in Minecraft. Just see what we have in here. All this says here is animation and frame time and 2. You can use the 2 to adjust how fast or how slow the animation runs. I'll just leave that at the default settings, but that's all that is. So all we need to do is just to rename this, and it has to be named the same thing as our image file. So it's back over here again. There's the image. I'm going to click into this once. There's the name. Right-click and copy that name. Go back into Assets, Minecraft Textures, Item. Click into this name. So the name is selected. Right-click and paste. And put in .png. So you have the name of the file right here, Totem of Undying.png, and then .mcmeta. That's all you have to do there. That actually runs the animation for us. Okay, we now need to work on this and create our new images for the animation. And there's a special setup. Now you can do this in any graphics editor that you want. It doesn't matter. It just has to be able to work with transparencies and layers. And that's almost anything. I'll do this in Adobe's Photoshop Elements, which I just happen to like using. But again, use whatever you want. Okay, here we are inside of Photoshop Elements, and I have 3 files in here. This is the original Totem of Undying right from our working folder. You see it's a real small file. I'll just zoom in on that. Real small file. And the first thing we want to do is to make this into a larger file. Let's just take a look at the file size on this one. Go to Image, Resize, Image Size. And this has a pixel dimension here of 16 by 16. Real small file. All of your items are at this size. We want this to be a lot bigger to make it easier to animate. So all we have to do is just to resize this. Now inside of Photoshop Elements, I would just make this 128 by 128. Just type that in. You can change the resolution if you want to. It's up to you. And I've already done that with this file right here. Let's just get rid of this. Close that one down. So this file, I've gone in and I've actually made this a larger file. Let's take a look at that. Image resize and image size. So I made this one 128 by 128. I left everything else the same. The only thing you have to do, and this is very important, and it'll be named different things in different programs, but you're going to be getting different options on how to enlarge the image. And the one you want says nearest neighbor or preserve hard edges. That's very important that you have that one selected before you make the image size larger. If you don't do this, you're going to have soft, fuzzy edges and it will look like garbage. So make sure that you find nearest neighbor or preserve hard edges or something like that. It's going to be in a drop-down list for choices on how to go ahead and do that enlargement or the size change. So look for that to make sure this works out nice and easy. Okay, so that's as far as I took that one. That's just resize. This file is the same thing as this file, but this one, I put a whole bunch of layers in here. Let me show you the file size on this. Image resize and image size. Notice that we have the exact same file size here. It's just a whole bunch of layers. And on the layers, I've gone through and I've moved the wings in here. Let me just show you this. This is our first layer, our second layer. And you can see there how I've moved the wing just a little bit right there. And then I brought it up a bit more here and then brought it up here. I'm just moving it 1 pixel. And the way I did that, I'm not going to do the whole thing here to show you. It just takes too long to show you this. But the way I did this was I was on that layer. Let's just go up here to the top layer. I came in here and I made a selection around that piece, just like that, right at that pixel layer. And then I simply moved that to the next position. So here's one position. There's the next position right there. So you can do anything you want with it. You can put it over here, over here. It doesn't matter where it goes. We're just doing a frame-by-frame animation. But all I did was I just moved it up, did 1 step at a time like that, and then I came back down again like that, and then back up to the middle. And each one of those is its own layer over here, right-hand side. And you can see there, by looking at that, how we're starting off in the middle, we go up towards the top here, and then we come down and back down towards the bottom, and it comes back up to this position again. If you want to, you can go crazy on this and actually rotate these things around and have it flapping its wings like that. So you can get pretty fancy if you want to on this. You can change colors, anything you want. That's how I did the animation on my sword. It changes colors because I had the sword like this, and I just changed the color a little bit on each one of the animated frames, and that gives me that color change on the sword. And this works for any of the items. You can animate those any way you want. It's just 1 layer per frame. We now need to convert this over into the image file that we need. And what we want is to have something that looks kind of like this, kind of a big stack like that. Now this isn't a stack, these are just separate layers. It's just that one size here. So let's go ahead and make a new file. We know it's 128 wide, so let's go ahead and make it 128 wide by 12 times 128 since we have 12 layers in here. Let's go ahead, we'll do that. File new, blank file. I'll set this at pixels, and the width is 128. Resolution is still 72, that stays the same. And the height's going to be 1536. And choose OK. And here we go. We now need to get all the images from this over into here. And they also had to be stacked properly. So I'm going to zoom in on this. Just like that, we'll start at the very bottom down here. There's the bottom of the file. Now I need to know what 128 by 128 is in here. So let's go ahead, we'll make that. So I'll go over here. This is our 128 by 128 image. Let's make a new layer on this. I'll just fill the new layer with black. There we go. This is an exact 128 by 128 square. I can now take this and just drag it onto my new file here. Get this out of the way. There it is. I'll just position that right down here. Now the first image goes right on top of this. So here's layer 1. Just drag it in like that. And this should snap at the bottom. Be a little bit of space above right there. Okay, let's go to our next image in here. This is layer 2. Drag this one in. And I'll just let that snap right to that black square. Then I'll pull the black square up. And it has to snap with the bottom of that one. There we are. And I'll do the layer 3. Drag that in. Same exact thing. I'm just putting them in here one at a time. Take this background layer, push it to the top, right there so it snaps to the bottom of that Totem of Undying. And I'll just keep on doing this until I get the whole thing filled. And I'm not going to bore you with watching that. I'll go ahead and I'll do this. And then I'll bring you back in and show you what that looks like when it's finished. Okay, almost done. We're done with that back thing right there. Just 2 more little things to do. We no longer need that black square, so I can hide that layer. We also don't want that white background. So scroll down to the bottom, and here's our background. Hide that one. You want transparency in behind there. Okay, it's all set now to save. So go ahead, we'll save this one out. Go up to File, come down to Save As, and we want this as a PNG file. There we go. It has to be the same name as the original one. That's right there. But we're saving it inside the right folder. So inside of Assets, Minecraft, Textures, Item, and it goes right here. So again, original name, PNG file, and save. Choose OK. And that's now done. We're done here with the graphic stuff. Okay, let's go ahead and build our resource pack. Okay, we have our pack PNG. We have our folders and our 2 files that we need. There's one more thing that we need in here, and that is a pack.mc meta file. That used to be included inside the zip. It no longer is, but I have that up on my website. Let me bring that up for you. And it's right here. And I'll put the link for this in the description so you can come right here. Here's the actual code. This is good for 121.7 and 121.8. If you don't want to actually make that, just go right down here and download this. Same exact thing. This is just in a zip file. So I'll download this to the same folder. Choose Save. There we go. That's done. Okay, let's open this thing up. I'll right-click on this, and let's open in a new window. That way I can just take it and just drag it over there, like that. Get rid of this, and we can get rid of that as well. That's all done. Okay, let's go ahead and edit this. And I'm editing this in Notepad++. Bring this up. Here we go. Pack format is correct for 121.7 and 121.8. If you have a different version of Minecraft, just go back to my website. I have all the versions listed in there. And let's just change what it says up here. And we'll make it say Animated Totem. Okay, that's done. Choose Save. And we can now build our resource pack. So you need that Assets folder. Hold the Control key down. You need the Pack PNG and that Pack MC Meta. Those 3 things. Right-click and compress to zip file and give it a name. I'll just call it Totem. And I'm in Windows 11 right now. If you're in Windows 10, you go up to the Share tab and you find the zip button right there. Okay, now I need to go over to the launcher and put this into the right folder location. So I'll bring that up. Here we go, back into latest release, back over here to that folder. And this time, scroll down until you find the resource packs folder. It's right here. Open this up. And right in here is where our new zip file goes. Bring our other folder up. Here we go. And I'm going to right drag it over here and I'll copy that. I'll be putting this up on my website in the download section. So you can just download that if you want to. If you want to save yourself all that work, that's fine. Or do your own animation and make it exclusively yours. Okay, so this is in the right place. We're done with that. We can now play the game. Click on this play button. We'll load the game in and test that out and make sure it works. Okay, here we are on my custom title page. If you want to find out how I did all this stuff, I have links for those videos in the description. Okay, let's go into Options and Resource Packs. And it's over here, left-hand side. There we go, Totem Zip. Bring that over here to the right-hand side. There's also my Steve Creeper from the last video. Come down, click on Done. Done again. And Single Player. And go into my main world. And we'll test it. And there we go. You see it in the hotbar down there. And there's that animation running right there. So successful animation, successful resource pack. Okay, so if you like this video, just hit that thumbs up. If you want to help me do more videos, then click on subscribe. If I get to 100,000, I'll get my silver play button back there. I'll put my name on that thing, and then I can do more Minecraft videos, and I'll see you next time.